Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Theme Park Conductor. I'm your host, Theme Park Conductor, and today we're going to be talking about Halloween Horror Nights, kind of like a short-term event guide of what some tips and tricks on how to handle the event. We're also going to be talking about some updates at Universal Studios Hollywood, some updates that are happening at the Disneyland Resort, and just general questions about the theme parks or Halloween Horror Nights or maybe Grinchmas. Anything you would like to talk about or have any questions about, I'm here to answer them. So without further ado, let's get into it. Again, hi, how we doing tonight, everyone? I'm sure everyone's having a wonderful Thursday night. I hope anyone out here in California didn't freak over the supposed storm we had this past week. Hurricane, they're saying that was absolutely disastrous. I'm out here in Riverside County, kind of next to Temecula area, and I have to tell you, the worst that we got out here was maybe half a day worth of rain. It wasn't even that bad. So, hopefully everyone's okay though. No issues, and I hope everyone's safe and everyone has their power. I hope, and no one lost power. So that if you are someone that's lost power or had issues with the storm, your houses or anything like that, hopefully it's something that could be fixed fairly quickly. I do want to extend my condolences to anyone that watches in Maui. My heart and prayers and just deep thoughts go out to you guys. I'm absolutely horrified on what happened out there, and anyone that was impacted by that, I do want to say in the bottom of my heart that I am extremely sorry, and I hope um, you get some help soon. And if you lost any family members, just know my hearts and prayers with many of my other fellow YouTubers. All of our hearts go out to you because it's truly a sad thing one day to be enjoying your family, enjoying just maybe you had a day off or maybe you just got off of work and just something like that happens, and I'm truly sorry that happened. Like I said, my hearts and prayers go out to you all out there in Maui. But without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about let's get into the first subject. Let's do that. Let's talk about Halloween Horror Nights here. And yeah, give me 1 second here. There we go. Let's talk about the houses that's going to be featured this year. Let me get into that real quick. Here we go. So, as you can see, let me get into this. Here we go. Oh, mouse went too quick. Okay, so our first two houses that we're going to talk about for a second are Stranger Things, which has been at the event before. I know one other time. I think two other times, if I'm not mistaken. We also have The Exorcist. Um, this Exorcist maze, though, or not maze, house, it's actually based off the new movie. And a lot of people, including myself, were a little confused why Universal would bring out and possibly put scenes of the new movie in the house where the movie hasn't even come out yet, and the movie's going to come out after the event starts. So I have two questions on that. One is, are we going to have a lot of scenes from previous years of The Exorcist, and maybe a couple scenes will be from the new movie? Or did maybe John Murdy and Chris Williams, did they get an early access to watch this movie and kind of handpicked scenes from the movie that wouldn't really spoil it and threw it into the house? Or are we going to see a lot of black walls? And I don't think we're going to see a lot of black walls, but it's always a possibility. And I don't like to think that way because, we're paying a lot of money to go to this event each year. And I know Chris Williams and John Murdy, they pour their hearts and souls into this event. They really work hard. Like even right now. Right now, it's to the point where they're already talking with movie studios and getting the rights for next year's event. That's how involved they are. Their life revolves around almost 24/7 about bringing this event to life every single year, so that way everyone can enjoy it. And that's something that I've been going since 2016 that I absolutely love. I've actually met both creative directors. John Murdy, I've met multiple times. I've met Chris Williams once or twice, but I've seen John Murdy a lot more. I've talked to him. He actually grew up in Whittier, where I grew up, obviously decades apart, but he's a really nice guy. And like I said on OG Orange Grove 55's live stream a couple weeks back, and if you don't follow him, definitely give him a follow. He has wonderful content of the Disneyland Resort, Walt Disney World, a lot of Disney stuff, but he also does cover some Universal stuff as well. He does have a co-host that is usually on his videos, his live streams, Mr. Vash Sky. Definitely follow him on Twitter and YouTube as well. Both guys are absolutely wonderful, and I give a shout out to them. It's when he's like, he'll probably be there the first night of the event, which the first night of the event is going to be September the 7th. Basically, he's walking around, and fans who know who John Murdy is, they stop and talk to him for a minute, and he's happy to oblige. He loves talking to the fans. He loves engaging. I've talked to him multiple times, like I said, a bunch of people, and he likes to hear, hey, how you liking the event? How you liking all the props? How you liking all the houses? Is there anything you would like to see come next year? Anything you'd like to see improved? And a lot of times, he does take that into account, which is an absolute wonderful thing. I think that's what a creative director, I think if you're going to walk around as a creative director during an event that you created for fans alike, and to sit there and take a few moments out of your time to talk to fans, I think that is just absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And we got two people in the live stream right now. We got Mr. Bloodmonger 45. If many of you don't know who Bloodmonger 45 is, he is a dear friend of mine. I've known since since high school, since my freshman year of high school. And I believe he has a YouTube channel, and definitely go check him out. He has some good content on there. It's always good to see him, throwing some chats my way on my live streams and on my videos. It's really good to see you, and hopefully I could catch up with you soon. We also have Mr. our GR Power Coasters. She is another one that has wonderful content. Definitely check out her channel. She's been a huge influence and helped me a lot on YouTube, and I'm very, very, very thankful for that. And I just want to say, both keep up the good work, because that's something definitely you both do very well. So definitely keep up the good work. So the next two houses I'm going to talk about is The Last of Us and Chucky Ultimate Kill Count. So The Last of Us, basically there's an HBO series about The Last of Us. I haven't watched it yet. I kind of have mixed reviews watching it. I played all the video games though. I played all the video games. Absolutely love the video games. This house here is going to be based off the video games. It's not going to be based off the HBO series. Anyone that's played these video games of The Last of Us knows how good and what the scenes are, what the monsters look like, the characters, everything. So I'm super excited for that maze or house. This house here is actually going to be located right behind the Mummy show building. So I can anticipate that this house is going to be one of the busier ones, besides Stranger Things, which is based off season 4. I think this is going to be another house that's going to be absolutely jam-packed with people, and I can see why. The next house is Chucky Ultimate Kill Count. So they've had Chucky in the past, and as far as I remember, they've never had a house about Chucky. He's been on the Terror Tram and some other things, but he's never had a house. And what they're basing this house off of is not the movies. From what I understand, they're basing this off the TV series, which is on USA Network and on the Sci-Fi channel. And I think they're coming out with season 3, I believe. Yeah, I think it's season 3. The first 2 seasons I personally liked. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be fun, because he's never had his own house, and I'm super excited how John Murdy has that planned. So definitely gonna look forward to that. Let's see. Bloodmonger 45 says, I need to update mine as Stargate Blueprint. Okay. Well, definitely let me know on that, Bloodmonger 45, and I'll try to leave links in my videos so people can follow you. And then let's see. The next 2 houses we're going to talk about is Universal Monsters and Unmasked and Evil Dead Rise. Universal Monsters Unmasked, that is going to be where Chucky is, which to get to those 2 houses, you have to go through, oh man, I'm losing my train of thought here. You have to go through Hogsmeade of Harry Potter. You have to walk all the way through, all the way to the back of the land. They have these 2 big wooden doors that are going to be open, and they're going to have a path that walks kind of backstage and down a little bit towards the back lot. And there's like a little parking kind of little parking lot area that obviously is not for public guests. So they're having two houses there. One of them is the Universal Monsters Unmasked, and the other one is that Chucky house. So definitely I'm looking forward to this because I personally love Universal Monsters, the whole Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, you got the Invisible Man, you got the creature from the Black Lagoon, and you got so many different monsters, and that's what really back in the day saved Universal Pictures is the Universal monsters. So I am very, very happy that John Murdy decided to bring this to the event this year. So I am definitely looking forward to that. Another house that looks pretty interesting that people have requested in previous years is Evil Dead Rise. That is going to be in the location of the former Walking Dead attraction that basically is vacant. It's kind of like it's kind of been a laughing joke the last couple of years because they had an all year round Walking Dead attraction that closed. I want to say it closed either before COVID or right after COVID. I think it was before COVID. And it didn't last very long. And it's like I said, it's been a laughing joke where that's been a permanent HHN house location for the last couple years, and it's not open during any other part of the year. It's always closed off. But that's Evil Dead Rise is where that's going. It's based off of looks like Blumhouse, or no, not Blumhouse. I'm sorry. It looks like some of the scenes that we saw from Horror Hotel last year. Some of those scenes might be in Evil Dead Rise. Some people even hinted that in that house from last year, there were kind of Easter eggs about Evil Dead Rise. So it was kind of on people's on the back of their mind that that we were going to get this house this year. So I'm very happy about that. Again, I'm super stoked for every house, quite frankly. There is no house that I'm not super stoked to do. So the next two houses are Monstros, the Monsters of Latin America, and Holidays in Hell. So Monstros, that house is actually next to Mills Diner on the upper lot next to the plaza, where in previous years they've had kind of like it's kind of like an entertainment space, but it's Halloween themed. That's what I call it, an entertainment space where you have bars, little snack stands, you have photo ops with all the with a lot of the oh gosh, HHN prop statues. That's where this house is. I've actually they just recently, not too long ago, took down the construction fence, so you can actually, if you go to Universal before the event or even after the event starts, it doesn't really matter. You can walk up right to the entrance of the house. Obviously, you can't go in it, but you can walk right up to it and see all the detail and everything. It looks really, really, really cool. So I'm super stoked for that house because last year it was La Llorona, which is basically, if many people don't know what La Llorona is, which I'm sure everyone does, but people that don't, from what I understand, it's kind of like a Mexican folklore type witch creature. That's what the house last year was based off of. So this year is a little bit different. And then the Holidays in Hell house we've actually had that house before. I don't know how many other times. I know once before, maybe even a couple times before. I think we've even had it as a scare zone once. That I believe. So I'm excited for it. I know one of the complaints that was brought up in years past when the last time they had this, I guess there was a Christmas section, and I think I vaguely remember it. There was a Christmas section of this house, and it was very like I wouldn't say it was like an afterthought, but it was kind of like a very small portion of it. And I personally myself kind of thought, well, if you're gonna call it holidays in hell, you need to represent every holiday. That's why you call it holidays in hell. You're basically representing all the different holidays in a way. So hopefully the Christmas scene is a lot better, bigger than it was in years past. So I'm hoping that's the case. So we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna speculate. I am going the first night. If many of you don't know, I'm going the first night with a guy I met on opening day, opening weekend of Super Nintendo World. He's a great guy. His name is Tommy. He has a YouTube channel of his own. It's TommyToon. So definitely check it out. I will post his YouTube channel in the description down below once we're done with this live stream tonight. But definitely check him out. He has great content. Just everything he's done from start to finish, I'm extremely impressed. He has built, like me, a YouTube channel from the ground up. Only started, I want to say, not even 7 months ago, and he's doing very, very well. And I'm doing very well. I didn't even think I was going to get over 2,000 subscribers. I didn't think I was going to get monetized by YouTube so fast, but I did. So I'm very, very, very appreciative to not only YouTube, but to all my subscribers, all my followers, everyone that's helped me in the past. I'm extremely thankful for that. So I want to thank you all. I want to give everyone a shout out. Everybody deserves a shout out. Even other YouTubers that I've talked to and collaborated with. One of the very first YouTubers that signed up to my channel was ThemeParkWizard, and I know he did a live stream earlier today. He has been a great help. Me and him talk quite frequently. We actually met in person the opening day of Super Nintendo World, and he's a great guy. Great guy. He covers Universal. He covers the Disneyland Resort. He's done some Epic Universe videos. And I think he has plans in the future to go to Orlando. So definitely check out his YouTube channel. And I will also post his YouTube channel in the description once this video is done. But what do you guys think about HHN this year? What do you guys think about the houses? Just the whole atmosphere, the event, everything. What do you guys think about that? Because I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about the event this year. Anything that you guys have seen online that you want to talk about, or try to ask or something like that? Because I go to Universal quite frequently when I can, and I'm always talking to cast members and all that, and trying to find out the latest information. So let's see. Let's see. So Rebecca McFarland says Halloween Horror Nights food. So the food looks absolutely amazing from pictures I've seen. They haven't really, from what I understand, released the lineup yet for the food. I do know they just built like a kind of like a food stand on the lower lot, which is a pizza stand from the Stranger Things series. I'm super excited for that. I know upstairs Hollywood and Dine on the upper lot, that's going to be taken over by a Chucky slash barbecue, from what I heard. And then across the way, you kind of have like a outdoor patio area. That's supposed to be like a meet and greet type dining location. Then you're going to have a show in Waterworld. We're not sure what that show is yet. From what I heard, it could be a show that they've had years ago. I'm not sure because I've never seen it in person. Um, there was some speculation that there might be a second show, which is actually going to be in the DreamWorks Theater, and that's something me, ThemeParkWizard, and Orange Grove 55, we all talked about on one of his live streams a couple weeks back about that, about having a second show in there. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of hoping so because I don't think one show is enough. Because obviously the other show that they used to have is Jabberwockies, and I'm sure everyone's sick and tired of that. But they used to be in the special effects stage, but that whole area is behind construction fences, and that building no longer exists. So they completely leveled that whole area. So special effects, Production Central, which was a gift shop, and Animal Actors, which was a daytime show with the animals and whatnot. Those buildings are all gone, and they're actually going to build a Fast and the Furious roller coaster, which is absolutely amazing. No one ever thought we were going to get a roller coaster of this magnitude at Universal Hollywood, especially with the production that happens on the back lot. So I am extremely thankful for Universal for doing that. GRL Power Coaster said, yes, it is Surfer Boy Pizza. I appreciate you posting that. I couldn't think of that. I knew it was something to do Surfer Boy Pizza. So thank you for putting that in the chat. I appreciate it. And then she also posted, yep, it's going to be Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift. I'm loving it. You know what? I'm going to agree with you. I'm super stoked for this roller coaster. I think it's exactly what Universal Hollywood needs. And I don't think it's going to stop there. I really do not. I have a source. I can't reveal who this person is because obviously this person does not want to be identified or anything. But from this person, I've actually heard there are more things to come to the theme park. Not just lands and stuff like that, but we're talking a whole different change of the park entirely. We're talking possibly one, if not two, on-site hotels. Where I was told that we're also getting our security where it is in the front part of the park. It's actually going to be moved to the parking structures. And basically the whole city walk area is going to be enclosed in. So that way, it doesn't get so congested in the front area of the park. So the security is going to get moved. Another thing I've heard is and this is not confirmed. This is just a rumor that we could begin Diagon Alley. Again, not confirmed. But I like to keep an open mind. I know some people online say, oh, no, there's no way we're getting Diagon Alley. There's no way we're getting the Donkey Kong expansion. There's no way we're getting Velocicoaster. There's no way we're going to get the Bourne Spectacular show. But me personally, I like to keep an open mind. I don't like to go down the path, oh, we're definitely not getting it. Because as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not calling anyone out, But as far as I'm concerned, what I've been listening to for years is there's no way we were ever, and I mean ever, gonna get a roller coaster of a magnitude like Velocicoaster ever at Hollywood. And what Universal did not too long ago by confirming it was literally kind of just blow everyone's mind, because no one ever thought that was even going to be possible. So I am so thrilled that the company that is making this roller coaster also made the Velocicoaster at Universal Orlando, and also Hagrid's Motorbike at Universal Orlando, and many other roller coasters. So they are known for their roller coasters, and I am super stoked for that. Super, super, super stoked. So Bloodmonger 45 says, remember Back to the Future? I do remember Back to the Future, Bloodmonger 45. I do. I did. I really loved that ride, and I don't know. I don't know if Hollywood would bring it back, but I would like to see it come back. But I don't know if they would. But I do remember it, and it was very nostalgic for me. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. Let's see. So Rebecca said Halloween Horror Nights show Purge. So I want to get into this real quick. So the Purge has been brought to the event before in years past. It's kind of one of those things where the Purge kind of got, overused, kind of like what Michael Myers and Halloween did. But I know they're coming out with a movie this year, or not this year, but next year. So there is a possibility for next year's event that they could bring the Purge back, maybe as a scare zone, maybe part of the Terror Tram, or maybe an actual house. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But I know they are definitely coming out with the movie probably next year or the year after. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Let's see. She also said Halloween Horror Nights, 5 nights at Freddy's. Okay, so a lot of people thought when the trailer dropped for the movie that we were definitely getting it this year. We're not getting it this year, but there is a huge possibility we could get it next year. I'm going to have my fingers crossed that we get it next year, because I can only imagine the fan base that would come to Halloween Horror Nights, not only at Hollywood, but in Orlando as well, because a lot of their houses, we share properties on out here in the West Coast and on the East Coast. So a lot of the houses we get, they get, and vice versa to a certain extent. So I'm hoping next year we get 5 Nights at Freddy. I would really love to see that. So let's see. GRO Power Coaster said, did you see they are entering their Thrills area? We still looking at Intimate. Also more Intimate projects to come after Hollywood Drift. Also Six Flags is building Intimate again. Yes, I did hear that. Wizard mentioned that briefly on his live stream earlier today about that. I'm glad for Six Flags, because Six Flags, they have obviously a lot more rides than Universal, but they could use another one. And I'm glad Intimate is not only just doing projects with Universal. They've done projects with Disney before, and they're doing projects now with Six Flags again. So I'm very happy about that. So, but I have to say I'm more nostalgic for Universal, especially on a roller coaster that no one ever thought we were getting. So I'm more excited about that than anything. And I think everyone in the chat would agree with me on that. So I'm definitely excited. And then she also says, thanks, Intimate, for bringing a drifting ride system system to direct away the screams. Yes. And from what I heard, again, this is from that source. If you go behind Super Silly Funland, the little water park, and then you got the Moulin Rouge on the other side, but there's a lookout point. If you go over there and you can see down below, they're clearing all the trees out because that's where a majority of the track is going. I did hear there's going to be some facade work, maybe even some shops that are going to go down there. I don't know how they're going to do it, but that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. That's just pure speculation, but it would make sense for the facade part, for part of the ride. I don't know about the shops. I'm hoping, but again, I don't know about that. So, but yes, if you look over there, you can see the construction happening where they're going to put the actual station and the queue for the roller coaster, and you can see over the hill where the track is going to go because they're clearing all sorts of trees, and it looks like a blank field right now. So we definite Intimate is moving, or Universal and Intimate are moving along. I have no doubts that we're going to have any delays or anything like that. I think Universal definitely wants to get this roller coaster built as soon as humanly possible. Let's see. Okay, so Rebecca posts Halloween Horror Nights Ghostbusters. Rebecca, I don't know if you went to the event that one year, but they did have a Ghostbusters house on the back lot. That's when we had the back lot for houses and scare zones and whatnot. We recently lost that whole location due to COVID. It really kind of messed up a bunch of stuff, and productions got super behind. So for the last couple of years, we haven't had that location. I'm hoping in the future we do get that location. So that's definitely something to look out for. So, but if you didn't go to that event, Rebecca, definitely go on YouTube and type in Ghostbusters HHN house, and you'll see it on YouTube. I personally liked it. I didn't think it was scary. I think it was just kind of like a more fun, nostalgic house to go through. So I'm definitely excited. I was excited to go through it. I'm not gonna lie about that. I really loved that house. So that was a lot of fun. Let's see. So GRO Powers Coaster said, now I heard something interesting. Escape from Green Gods has track and supports from Intimate, but trains from Premier and the tilt track was from Vecnum. Will the trains be Intimate or Premier? Well, if we get Diagon Alley with the Green Gods ride, I would assume it would probably be the same situation Orlando got. Again, I it's all speculation if we do get it, but I would assume it's going to be the exact same way with the two companies working on the same ride. But again, only time will tell. I think personally, and this is just my opinion, since Orlando got um, the Fly of the Hippogriff and they got um, the ride in the castle, I think by them getting it first, they were kind of like the test pilot of those rides, even with Diagon Alleys. So I would think if they're going to bring it to Hollywood, the ride system is definitely going to be a little bit different. And what I mean by that, just the whole engineering of it, the ride vehicles, so that way they don't break down as much. Because I know a lot of people have complained in Orlando that the ride inside the Hogwarts Castle, it breaks down way too much. Like, I mean, like almost to the point of what Indiana Jones does at the Disneyland Resort. So, if they do bring Diagon Alley to Hollywood, maybe Intimate will build the track, build the ride vehicles. Maybe I don't know. I'm just hoping we get the expansion, because I think it's something we need and we want. So I can't see why we wouldn't. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. She also posted, no, this is about Hollywood Drift. It uses a spinning coaster system, and I know Intimate has a spinning system, but I'm wondering if they will go the Green Guards route and do Premier Trains or Intimate MDC. You know, that's an excellent question, and I think if Intimate is already building, they've already built the coaster for Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. I would think they are gonna go the route of the Green Gots. And I think Intimate will be the one creating those ride vehicles. I don't think they're gonna subsource it to another company, but again, who knows? But I would think Intimate would want to build from start to finish, and they wouldn't want to outsource anything, if maybe very little. So I would think probably not. I would think Intimate would build the entire thing. So we'll have to wait and see. And then Rebecca says, what are Demon Slayer? How's Demon Slayer? So that was a rumor early on that we were supposedly going to get a Demon Slayer house, but I think that that house is either, I don't know if it's for this year's event or it's for the previous years. I know Universal Japan has done houses like that. I don't know if they've done Demon Slayer. They might have. But I know Hollywood early on, and this was months and months and months ago, it was rumored to come to the event, but it is not coming to the event this year. It could be coming in future events, but again, that's something that's pure speculation. That's not something that we know for sure. So definitely we'll keep an eye out on that. She said, yeah, that was 2012, but Intimate's control spinners have been problematic, but I'm hopeful for full Intimate with Intimate multi-dimension coaster tech on these trains. You know what? I've done some research from the last time I talked about this, and I've seen Intimate do that. So I'm hoping that Intimate does everything: the track, the mechanics, the ride vehicles, everything. Because it seems like Intimate has a very good track record of keeping their rides and roller coasters, any rides they make, very maintainable, and always have the parts on hand just in case the ride goes down. So I have no doubt that they're gonna literally build everything, the ride vehicles, everything. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But another topic I want to get to right now is because I know Wizard, he talked about earlier on his live stream that he heard from a source that a lot of the sound stages behind Super Nintendo World, they're not going to be used anymore, and they're going to basically be abandoned. So when I heard that, it kind of confirmed my theory in the past where they've said, "Oh well, um, future park expansion." So I have a map of the park, and I want to show that right now. And I'm not going to dig too much into it, because there's other topics I would like to get to, but I'm going to show this to you guys right now, and let's take a look, and let's go from here. Okay, so okay, we are, and this is kind of like an outdated Google this yet for whatever reason. It's been a while. But right here, you can clearly see this is Super Nintendo World as it sits, before it opened. But these sound stages right here, and then you got soundstage 12 right here. The thing that I've talked about in the past is because, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I know I've talked to Wizard multiple times about this, and we've gone back and forth, back and forth. He said that the Donkey Kong expansion is huge, and we don't know if it's going to come to Hollywood. Again, like I've said before, like I said earlier, I like to keep my mind open. And from what I can see here, you got these 3 sound stages here. You got these 2 sound stages here. You got soundstage 12 here. And then a lot of this right here, like the Kelly Clarkson show, that soundstage isn't going to be used anymore after this year, because she's actually moving her entire show to New York. So she's not going to be here anymore. Then you got all this right here. Right in here, you got the employee cafe. That's not going to be here anymore. That cafe, and then you got these 2 buildings. I think I want to say they're right here, right where the Kelly Clarkson show is. Right in this area right here, even this building right here, all 3 of those or both these buildings right here, they're both abandoned. No one uses them anymore. They're both abandoned. They're both non-usable. That's why they are building the creative campus, because not only is it going to hold the break room, it's going to hold production offices for Universal Creative, the creative team, the production teams for the films. It's going to have some other stuff, and then somewhere back here, they're going to have it's kind of like a circle dome building. Someone hinted a while back that it could be like a theater type show building. I don't know if it's going to be for the public or not. That's probably not the case. Maybe it's like I don't know, like a theater they would use to preview movies for the actors and stuff. I have no idea. Or maybe it's part of the creative campus. I have no idea. But getting back to where I'm getting at is, I think if you take out Soundstage 12, you take out all 4 of these buildings, you take out all of this right here, and you angle it like that, I think it's more than possible you can bring the Donkey Kong expansion. I think, again, I like to keep my thoughts open. I don't like to say, oh no, it's definitely not coming. So I'm hoping the Donkey Kong expansion comes. I really am. And I think it's possible. It's just they would have to do some rerouting, obviously. But that's just something that, again, they could do. And then right here, right here, this tent looking thing, obviously this isn't The Last of Us, but this is where the Last of Us house is going to be at. But this is the Mummy show building right here. This is a massive show building for a indoor roller coaster that's very short. Because when they built this ride, 99% of this stuff was not here. This was more sound stages and stuff like that. So the original concept was they were going to have the ride actually go out of the building and then go back into it. But they decided not to do that. So it's all indoors. So it's a very small track. But the show building, you could clearly see it's humongous. And what I speculated before is I would like them to bring the Velocicoaster here, because you got this massive area right here. You got part of this hillside right here where they could easily put the Velocicoaster. I don't see why they wouldn't. I could see them bringing it here, and I hope they do so. Another thing was, Transformers. Will they get rid of it? Debatable. They may or may not. Again, it's possible, but from what I've heard, not only the soundstage is way over here behind Super Nintendo World, but a lot of these sound stages back here in the next couple years, 5-10 years, maybe even less, they're all going to be gone. This is all going to be theme park expansion, supposedly. Again, don't quote me on that, but that's what I've heard. Again, pure speculation. A lot of people were disappointed that Super Nintendo World was extremely small, and I agree with that. I'm kind of sad in the way we didn't get the Yoshi ride. I kind of feel we got cut short a little bit, so that's kind of disappointing. But I still think they could expand Super Nintendo World itself. They could add more mini games. They could add another gift shop and possibly another, pop-up snack stand. I think that would alleviate some of the pressure off the Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge ride. That would alleviate some of the lines for not only just the mini games, but the 1-Up Factory store, and all the meet and greets. So I'm kind of hoping, we've heard in years past that Panda Express, they could be getting removed out of that space. And if they do so, and they get rid of the Studio Cafe, and they have a gift shop right here, which is that kind of Super Mario Nintendo pop-up store. If they got rid of that whole area right here, I could see them bringing more mini games, another gift shop, which would be obviously Mario Motors, and another snack stand or two. I could see it happening. It's entirely possible. I wouldn't say it's impossible. It would be hard, but they could do it. I would like to see them do it. So we'll see what happens. Again, Universal, it's definitely growing. One thing I have heard, after they're done with the theme park, or with the Fast and Furious roller coaster Hollywood Drift, the Simpsons area is next on the chopping block. As many of you probably do know, if not all of you know, Universal is losing the license to the Simpsons and by 2028, and that's supposedly when the Olympics are going to be here in California and LA. So from what I heard, as soon as they're done with the roller coaster, which is supposed to be done in 2024, maybe even early 2025, they're going to start work on this area. The problem is this whole show building here, it has been there for decades. And the problem with that show building, the foundation is in very bad shape. The the ride itself is falling apart. The ride vehicles are falling apart. There's actually one side of this attraction that's not even used anymore because they don't, from what I heard, and again, don't quote me on this, but from what I heard, the ride vehicles, the company that made the ride vehicles, they don't even have parts for them anymore. So the one side, I don't know what side it is, they're using parts from the one side from those ride vehicles as spare parts for the working side of that attraction. So basically, in a nutshell, this ride is on its last leg to a point, and the building itself is not in good shape. So that's probably why they're going to level this whole show building to the ground. Now, what they could put here, anyone's guess. It could be part of Harry Potter. I've heard it could be maybe a mini Monsters Land. It could be part of Fast and the Furious. Who knows? It's anyone's guess. And then this right here. This area here is the tram loading area for the studio tour. And one thing that has been talked about, that has been discussed many, many, many times, is that the studio tour loading entrance, which this is right here, has been on the lower lot before. And there were talks about putting this back on the lower lot somewhere, because as you can see right here, you got this the Wizarding World of Harry Potter right here, and the massive show building for that. And from what I've talked about in previous videos, this is where the Hogwarts Express would be, right here. And it would drive down to where Falls Lake is. This is where Falls Lake is on the tour. You got this, and then obviously, again, Google Maps hasn't updated this in God knows how long. You got Jupiter's Claim right here, and then it drives into Fast and the Furious Supercharged, which, sorry to say, no one likes. I don't even like it myself, to a point. It's just kind of there. But a lot of people, including myself, have speculated this is where Diagon Alley can go. And I'm hoping that's the case, because I think the whole land itself is big enough for them to put Diagon Alley. I think it's incredibly, it's an incredible spot for it. And I can't see why they wouldn't put that there. Because the Jupiter's Claim area right here, I have heard rumors, and again, I'm not saying the rumors are true, but from what I heard, Jupiter's Claim is going to go away. After this Halloween season, it's going to go away. Now, is it going to get moved to another location? Who knows? Possible, maybe not. Fast and Furious Supercharged show building. I've heard mixed things. I've heard it could be going away. I heard they might reskin it to maybe Back to the Future. They might do something else with it. Who knows? Personally, I like to see this whole building go away, like gone. And maybe the train station goes into here, and then you walk in Diagon Alley right here. I don't see why it couldn't happen. It would be a lot of infrastructure work, but I could see it happening. I really can. So I'm hoping for that. Another thing that has been talked about in years past, and I don't think it's going anywhere, Waterworld. Supposedly at one point they were going to try to squeeze in Diagon Alley here and get rid of not only Waterworld, but get rid of this whole area right here to put that in. But again, that's a tiny spot, and I don't think it would ever work. So I think Falls Lake is more of an appropriate location if they're going to bring Diagon Alley, which again, I have my fingers crossed they will. Universal Plaza, it's kind of like an entertainment space. It's really kind of, in my personal opinion, dead space. But they do a lot of events, not only for the general public that walks into the theme park, but also private events as well. So I don't know if they would ever get rid of this and turn it into something. Maybe, who knows? That's kind of a wait and see game. So we'll see what happens. Again, obviously this hasn't been updated because this building here, this building, and this building right here, which is connected to Animal Actors, which was Production Central, this is all gone right now. These buildings don't exist. It's literally dirt. So, again, I'm hoping something. I'm hoping for Universal's future. So we'll see what happens. Again, I'm not gonna sit there and speculate too crazy. So the other thing I do want to talk about is the Disneyland Resort, because there's been some questionable things going on about that. Let me pull that up right now. I have that on Google Maps as well. Let me pull that up. Okay. So let's start with the obvious. And again, this map is not going to be updated because I don't even know when Disneyland or Google updated this map. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what they do. Okay, let me zoom in here. Okay. So as you can see right here, this is the Avengers campus right here. One of the things that have been an absolute kind of, I wouldn't say slap in the face, but kind of like a tease and nothing else, is the fact that you got this giant, massive building. And for years, since I want to say 2017, 2017, what do you call it? They've hinted at bringing a e-ticket attraction. The first concept was something to do with the Quinjet, which was actually going to be a ride system, from what I understand, like Cosmic Rewind and Walt Disney World, which I've never been to Walt Disney World. I would love to go eventually in the future. But yeah, it was supposed to be in this area here, and they've actually had a picture of what that building would look like. And just recently, Bob Chapek, who again is no longer the CEO of the Walt Disney Company, he technically got fired, and Bob Iger came back. There was a new concept for this ride, which would kind of bring in the multiverse, and it would be about King Thanos. But from what the pictures look like from D23, when they had it out here in Anaheim, California, at the convention center, it kind of looked like a ride system like Transformers. And a lot of people were pissed off about that, including myself, because I want the Quinjet attraction that was actually like Cosmic Rewind. That's what I want. And I would, if I asked everyone in the chat or asked anyone in the general public at Disneyland, hey, would you rather have a ride system like that, or would you rather have a ride system like Transformers? Which one would you obviously pick? Obviously, they're going to choose the ride system, the roller coaster aspect of it. And that's one of the most concerning things, that we're not getting any of that. Who knows if we ever will get something like that, because Avengers Campus definitely needs another ride. They're lacking. And what they're doing right now in this, I can't really zoom in much more, but in this area here, there's some doors right here. They're kind of like glass doors. They're building like a gift shop that would normally be there after exiting the ride. But since the ride's not there, they're adding the gift shop, and they are actually closing. So they have this sound stage right here. That's the Avengers Superstore. They're actually closing that. I believe this month or next month, and they're taking everything out of there and going to move it to the new location, which is in the Avenger Campus show building, where they also do like little mini shows with the Avenger characters and whatnot. So a lot of people have speculated, including myself, the Hollywood backlot here, this whole section, because you got this building here, you got this building here, you got part of this building right here, you got this whole area, you got Mickey's PhilharMagic. This whole area just it's kind of a waste of space, in my personal opinion. And a lot of people, including myself early on, have speculated that that's where Avatar can go. And I said, well, yeah, it's big enough to go there. And maybe, maybe it could go there. But a lot of people are like, well, do we really want it in California Adventure? Some people said yes. A lot of people said no. So where would the second location in DCA be? If they were gonna, if Disney and Bob Iger were determined to put that land, or as Bob Iger calls it, experience. This is one of the locations that was looked at for DCA. That other location that was actually talked about was, let me see if I can zoom in here. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay, here we go. So you have the Little Mermaid ride show building, and then you got the Creek Forest right here. A lot of people were saying that Pandora can go here, but again, we have no confirmation from Bob Iger himself that it's an actual land. All he said, from what I've interpreted, is that it's an experience and it's going to be something to the magnitude of Walt Disney World. That's all he said. So a lot of people have said it's a land. If he's saying it's something compared to Walt Disney World, it's a land. Again, I don't want to speculate on something like that because I don't like doing that. But there's another area that was talked about. Even David from FreshBaked, definitely check out his channel. He has a lot of great Disney content. He actually speculated at one point that the Pandora land, if it is a land like Walt Disney World's version in Animal Kingdom, can actually go in this whole area here. And I'm like, yeah, it could, but now you're butt up against the Grand Californian. You got, the pools and all that. Do you really want to put it there? So that's another location inside DCA. Another one, and this is not in DCA, but this has been talked about so many times, is this area right here, the Finding Nemo location / Autopia area, where they could put Pandora, because you got the lagoon, which I know one of the rides, even the land itself, is kind of sort of surrounded by water. So a lot of people have been hinting that this location here could be the location of Avatar if it's an actual land and not some experience they throw into, like, let's say Star Wars Launch Bay, where it's kind of like a museum and you're walking around. But if it's an actual land, a lot of people have hinted that it could go right here. My problem with that is you got this massive show building right here. You got the Matterhorn right here. You got the tram area. You got part of the people mover track right here. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm not saying that, because I would actually like to see it go here. But you're talking about rerouting the monorail, possibly a little bit at least. Then you're talking about, well, actually, you would have to reroute the monorail. There is no other choice. You would have to reroute it. So you're talking some definite major construction. But Autopia, I know a lot of people are gonna, kind of hate me for this. Autopia is one of those rides. Yes, it is very fun. Don't get me wrong. But the way California, sorry to say, is going, where they're banning a lot of gas, whether it's vehicles, whether it's lawn equipment or anything like that, go-karts, sorry to say it, especially outdoor go-karts, they're on their way out. I'm just trying to be as real as possible. Now, there's always a possibility Disney could, if they want to keep Autopia, they can sit there and, transfigure them into electric, I guess. But then if the battery goes out on them, then it's kind of like, okay, now you're stuck in the middle of the track. And then it's just, I don't know how they would do it. Maybe, but a lot of people have hinted that Avatar can go here. I would like to see Avatar go here. And to bring up another point, not about Avatar, but let's talk about the elephant in the room here, the two elephants in the room here. You got Star Wars Launch Bay, which is a massive show building, which used to have America Sings in it, Carousel of Progress. Now they have Star Wars Launch Bay. They have some type of dining package on the terrace here, the Skyline Lounge terrace, where you can watch the fireworks, and I think it's like $70 or $80 to buy that. But the building is basically abandoned to a point. They don't really use it for anything I could imagine. So this building is like, it's in the way, I would say. It's definitely in the way. I don't personally think that building should be there anymore. I think it needs to be leveled to the ground. So hopefully Disney gets wise and they get rid of that building and maybe put something else there. I'd like to see another ride go there. I don't know what could go there, but maybe another ride. The other elephant in the room that has been heavily talked about for years and years and years is the People Mover. This is the station right here. And then the last ride to go on this platform / track was the I just had it too. Rocket Rods. And Rocket Rods was not made for this track system. Michael Eisner, back in the day when he was CEO, and he got rid of the People Mover and put that on their Rocket Rods, and the car vehicles were they had it where they would go fast and then slam on the brakes and then go fast again, slam on the that track was not made for that. So there's a lot of areas that are damaged by rocket rods. So that whole track has issues, not only foundation issues, but there are some other issues like for handicap and whatnot. If they had to evacuate the ride, there's really no I forgot the abbreviation for it. It's like ADA compliant or something like that. This track does not have that, so that's why they haven't brought back the People Mover. They would literally have to more than likely um, rebuild the almost pretty much, if not the entire track by scratch. And a lot of these buildings, because the People Mover back in the day, if you watch old videos on YouTube, it literally went in circle and then went down here and then it went into this building here, which this building has Star Tours. Then it goes through Star Tours to it goes into part of Space Mountain, and from Space Mountain it comes out and goes into Star Wars Launch Bay, which again was formerly American Sings and Carousel Progress. Then it comes out and travels through Autopia, goes through part on the tail end of the Finding Nemo Lagoon, and then goes alongside the monorail a little bit, then goes into Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, then comes out here and then goes all the way back to the station. The problem is, like I said, a lot of the track is in bad shape and it's not able to have a ride on it, so they would literally have to rebuild it from scratch. I know a lot of people have talked about Tomorrowland getting a massive redo, and I even talked about it with another YouTuber I just met not too long ago. Him and I were talking about it. I would like to see our Tomorrowland, since it's in far worse shape than the Tomorrowland in Orlando. I personally think I like to see it like the Tokyo one that is being redone right now. I would like our Tomorrowland to look like that. It looks futuristic. I think if they did that out here in California to our Tomorrowland, I could see the People Mover coming back. Um, you know, let me search something real quick, because I will show you a picture of what I kind of found online, and it was really quite interesting. Um, let's see, Disneyland Resort. Let me see if I can find a picture. Bear with me here. See if I can find it. If I can, I'll try to find it later on. But it was the People Mover, but it was definitely futuristic. It looked really, really, really cool. It looked even cooler than what do you call it? It looked even cooler than Walt Disney World's, and that looked absolutely amazing. So let me see if I can find it, because I know I've seen a picture of it once or twice before. bear with me here. If I can't find it, I'll try to find it later on. Let me see if I can find it. Because I know I've seen a picture of it and it looked absolutely amazing. God, now it's gonna be in the back of my mind, but I'm telling you, this thing looked absolutely incredible. I kid you not. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. But again, between Disney and Bob Iger cutting the budget, trying to save money, removing content off of Disney Plus, charging more for Disney Plus, then taking ESPN and trying to, in my opinion, sell off some of the rights to ESPN and outsourcing it. I don't see Avatar coming anytime soon. I'm sure it's coming, but just not anytime soon. I don't see them redoing Tomorrowland anytime soon, even though I would love to see it. It's just it's hard to sit there and actually believe that Bob Iger has a plan for the Disneyland Resort. Even the Avengers ticket, I'm kind of, as someone that pays a lot of money for a pass to Disney, and I don't even have the top tier pass. I have the Enchanted, or not, is it Enchanted? I think it's the Enchanted. It's the second one below the lowest pass you can get for the Disneyland Resort. And, it's kind of a slap in the face when, they tease everyone. Oh, yeah, we're going to bring a new ride. We're going to bring a new experience. And then it doesn't happen. It's like, why even bother saying anything at all? Personally, for me, I'd rather if you guys didn't say anything until you have concrete, facts that you're actually going to bring it. That would be a lot better than sitting there and beating around the bush and getting everyone hyped up for nothing. I'm sorry. I'm just speaking the truth. And I don't like, I don't like to talk that way, but it's the absolute truth. I don't like theme parks sitting there telling everyone, the general public, even me, oh yeah, we're going to bring an Avengers ticket, or oh yeah, we're going to bring Pandora, or oh yeah, we're going to bring Diagon Alley, or oh yeah, we're going to. It's like, until you have concrete evidence, I'd rather you didn't say anything, because it's kind of a slap in the face. We all get excited for that news, and then nothing happens. It's like, why? Why is that? I don't understand that. I don't get it. So that's one of the things that I'm irritated about personally. Another thing that I saw on Twitter, and this is, well, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. One thing I do want to bring up that I saw, that good friends that I've talked to on Twitter Spaces, on Mondo's Five Fire Twitter Spaces. And if no one knows what Twitter Spaces are, or as they probably would call it now, X Spaces, it's kind of like a live podcast where you can get a group of people and we can talk about whatever topic we're talking about. So it's like a live podcast in real time. But something I found on here from Crystal and Chris, definitely check out their Twitter, their social medias, their YouTube account. They're absolutely awesome, that I actually want to show you, which is pretty cool. Let me go here for a second. This is pretty cool. I saw this and I'm like, this is a popcorn bucket. There's a Chucky popcorn bucket. That thing moves. That thing is pretty sick. You can't tell me no one's gonna buy that. Everyone's gonna buy that, dude. I'm telling you. Then they have the Frankenstein one. That looks pretty cool. They have a skull-looking one, which is pretty cool. I saw another post on here too. I'm trying to see if I can find it on here. Oh, they have some Chucky merch. I wonder if we're going to be getting this in Hollywood, but here's like some shirts. That almost looks like a book. I don't think, yeah, that looks like a book to me. If someone knows what that is, post in the comments down below, but I'm pretty sure that's a book. And they have these kind of like cups, like tumblers, different Chucky. I wonder if we're going to get that. That looks pretty cool. That looks pretty sick. Little keychains and whatnot. That looks pretty cool. So I wonder if we're going to get that. Maybe. It's entirely possible. Let's see what else is on here. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. D23 out in Walt Disney World Resort. They're going to have their event from September 8th through the 10th. They usually talk about what it's kind of like the D23, but on the East Coast to a point. I'm hoping we get some news on some things like the Avatar experience, the e-ticket attraction for Avengers Campus out here and at the Disneyland Resort. Maybe the expansion of the Disneyland Resort. Who knows? But I'm not going to get my hopes up. I'm not going to get all excited for something like this, because I feel like the last couple D23s, they've kind of let us down in a point. Yeah, it's cool. They're redoing Epcot and all that right now, but I think the Disneyland Resort needs some love. And kind of what they did with San Francisco, formerly known as Pacific Wharf and DCA. It's kind of like, okay, well, we're reskinning it and we're throwing in a meet and greet, and here you go. It's like, that's great and all. I'm not saying it's not, but I'd rather a new ride come, especially when you guys, the Walt Disney Company, Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, have both publicly said in the public at conferences, yes, we are going to bring an e-ticket attraction to Avengers Campus. Like I said earlier, the very first attraction they brought concept for was like, it was a Quinjet attraction, which was basically a ride system like Cosmic Rewind at Walt Disney World. Then the second one that was brought by Bob Chapek was that it was going to be about King Thanos, the multiverse, and it was going to be, it almost looked like a ride system like Transformers at Universal Hollywood. And I'm hoping that's not the case, because that's basically all screen-based. And that kind of sucks. I'd rather have the actual roller coaster itself. So we'll see what happens. But again, I'm not going to get my hopes up on that. It's just something we have to wait and see, and that's coming in 2 weeks. So that's going to be the kind of like the weekend that Halloween Horror Nights opens up at Hollywood. So who knows? I might try to watch it maybe a little bit to see what they come up with. But again, I'm not going to get my hopes up. That's something that I personally am not going to do. I'm not going to get my hopes up because I feel like the Walt Disney Company has disappointed a lot of theme park fans personally. And I really think the Disneyland Resort needs a lot of love. And I think more to the point, Avengers Campus and especially Tomorrowland needs a lot of love. And I feel like we're kind of like the Disneyland Resort is kind of like the child left behind, and I'm hoping that that changes. So we'll see what happens. I won't get my hopes up. So I'm glad I was able to do this live stream with everybody. If you guys have any comments, concerns, anything like that, or you want to know about HHN, you guys want to know about the Disneyland Resort, Disneyland Forward, anything happening at Universal Studios Hollywood with the Fast and the Furious roller coaster construction, or anything that possibly could be coming to the Universal Hollywood in the next couple years, I'm here to answer your questions. I do want to give a shout out to ThemeParkWizard. Again, he's a great guy. I communicate with him a lot. He has great content, not only about Universal out here in Hollywood, but also Universal in Orlando. Talking about the newest theme park coming in 2025, which is Epic Universe. He also does some Disneyland content, which is pretty cool. So definitely check out his channel. Like I said earlier, I will post his link down in the description so you can check him out. Another one was GRL Power Coaster. She's another great YouTuber. Definitely check her out. Bloodmonger 45. Check him out. Who else do I want to give a shout out to? I want to give a shout out to several YouTubers. FreshBaked David. David, I've ran into him probably about 3 or 4 times between the Disneyland Resort and Universal. He has wonderful content. I'm so thrilled that I've actually got to meet him numerous of times. And I have to say, he has some great Disney content, him and his wife, Liz. So definitely check out his channel. Five Fires Mondo. Man, that guy is just absolutely incredible in what he does. He covers the Disneyland Resort. He covers Universal. He covers Six Flags. He covers Knott's Berry Farm. He's been very heavy on covering Knott's Berry Farm since it's their 50th anniversary. He also does trips to Walt Disney World. His girlfriend is part of a travel agency, so definitely if you're looking to book any travel, flights, hotels, tickets to the theme parks, I believe she does that as well. Definitely get in touch with Mondo on social media, and I'm sure he'll more than likely send you the link so you can sign up for that. But Mondo has been one of the better YouTubers that I've met, that I've talked to numerous of times. He's truly an inspiration to a lot of young YouTubers that maybe just started like myself. Basically, you can learn a lot from him, not only from his live streams, whether he's doing on YouTube, he does it on Instagram, he does it his Twitter lives. You can learn a lot from him. So he's definitely someone. If you're trying to start a YouTube channel, definitely watch his videos. He's one of those you can learn a lot off of, and I'm sure if you send him a message and whatnot, like I did, he helped me with a lot of things that I didn't know before. With the YouTube and doing live streams and all that. So I'm very happy, and he's a great guy in person. So definitely check out his channel. Another one that I've ran into once or twice, JP Land. A lot of people know who he is. He actually used to work at Universal. He's another great content creator. I think he has over 700,000 subscribers. So he's definitely another guy that I've talked to once or twice, and he does a lot of great videos. He covers Disneyland, Universal. He's covered Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags. He's done some other content as well, so definitely check out his channel. And I just want to say to all my subscribers, to everyone that's watched my videos, supported me all this time, that I want to say thank you. None of this would be possible without you guys. And one of the things I do want to point out is I recently got a camera to shoot my videos better when I'm in the theme parks. And I want to show you this camera, because if anyone who is a content creator, especially for YouTube or anything, is, filming videos, taking pictures and whatnot, and you're looking for a camera that's a good starter camera, the camera I would suggest is the Sony ZV-E10. And then I also have a mic system with it, which is the DJI mic system. I also have, which is kind of like a cage-looking case for it. It is the small rig, and I will post all the links down below on Amazon's website, so you can find all these things. But this is my setup. I want to show you guys real quick, since it's kind of just open discussion at this point. So let me show you what I got here. I don't know if many of you can see this, but this is my camera right here. This is the Sony ZV-E10. And up here, as you can see, this is the DJI receiver. And this is what the back of the camera looks like. The screen, let me see if I can bring out the screen. Yeah, it flips out. So you can have it either this way. So you're filming like this, and you can see, or you could twist the screen around. So, as you're shooting video and whatnot, you can see yourself on the screen. Like I said, this is the DJI mic system. It comes with 2 transmitters. I don't have the transmitters with me, obviously, right now. But it's a good mic system, and it comes with the adapters. There's one that is a UPC, or I think it's a UPC, or you know what? Actually, I think it's either UPC or it's a micro USB, so you could plug it into your Android phone, or it has an adapter where you could plug it into your iPhone. And if you want to shoot video with your iPhone, this mic system is a great way for the audio to be a lot more clear, a lot more crisp. And it's a great mic system. It's a little pricey. I wound up going online and finding it a little bit cheaper on eBay, but I will post it on Amazon. And if you do decide to buy it on Amazon, Amazon has a great return policy. So that's definitely something to consider. The camera itself retails for about $800, and that's with the kit lens here. This is the lens that comes with. It's called the kit lens. But there's a cheaper option. I think it's like $6.99, and it doesn't come with the kit lens. It just comes with the camera itself. The DJI mic, it costs $325. And then the small rig cage I found on Amazon for $40. So that's something to look forward to if you're into content creation and you want a camera that's going to give you good results, great video. Maybe not the most like crazy 4K, 5K, 8K video, but 1080p, if not 4K video. I would recommend this camera. And like I said, at the end of this live stream, I will post in the description all the links where you can find the camera, the small rig, the DJI mic system, and then I'll post the theme park wizard's link to his YouTube channel, so you can definitely check him out. I will also post Tommy, who I talked about briefly, his channel. I will post a link for him in the description down below. And if any of the questions that you guys have that maybe you didn't see the live stream and you want to ask, post in the comments down below and I will answer them. I'm usually pretty good about answering them very quickly. So again, if I didn't answer something and you have a question about it, I'm more than happy to answer it for you. So definitely post down below if you have a comment, concern, whatever. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, definitely consider subscribing. I'm usually at Universal. I've been at Universal a lot lately because my Disneyland pass recently got unblocked because I don't have some of the higher passes, which gives you some of the summer. My entire summer was blocked out from the Disneyland Resort. So I wasn't able to go. So a lot of times I went to Universal. And it was probably a good time to go to Universal because that's where I met the source where I get a lot of my information from. And, I was catching the deconstruction of the special effects, Production Central and Animal Actors Building in real time to make way for the Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift roller coaster. And I've been seeing other updates that I've filmed for the channel. So, again, I'm very thankful. Universal is bringing more experiences, more attractions to the theme park. And I hope to see more in the future, especially before the Olympics in 2028. That's coming out here in LA. But like I said, if you're not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. I also have links to my other social medias that you could follow, which is Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. So definitely check those out. And I just want to say thank you for tuning in to this live stream today. And it's very possible I'm going to be at Universal next week. I'm not 100%. Because I'm actually trying to save as much money as I can because of I'm going to RIP for the Halloween Horror Nights event in Hollywood for Universal the first night. And I'm going to be doing that with Tommy. And we're going to be doing that. And then Friday, we're going to be doing just general admission. I think we're also doing the Warner Brothers studio tour. So I will be posting content from Warner Brothers as well. And then Saturday we're doing the, I think it's the Express Unlimited. So that's going to give us front of the line. It's almost like having RIP all over again to a certain extent. So definitely stay tuned for that. But again, I haven't really 100% decided if I'm going to be at Universal this next Thursday coming up. It's possible, but if not, I'll let you guys know. but I'm definitely going to be at Universal on September the 7th. So if I'm not at Universal next week, I will be there on September the 7th for the event. So I just want to wish everyone well. Everyone stay safe, be kind to one another, and cherish. And I just want to say this: cherish as much time as you have with your family, your parents, your friends, because you can never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I always like to look on the bright side. And that's what I talked about earlier in my video, that when it comes to theme park rumors, I don't like to always go down the path of it's never going to happen. I always like to keep an open mind, a positive mind about stuff like that. And the same applies to what I just said about, making sure you spend as much time as you can with your family, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, your grandparents, your uncles. Spend as much time as you can, because you never know. You never know what's going to come tomorrow. But I will catch you guys very, very, very soon. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. And you guys all have a great night. And I will catch you guys on the next one.